Good afternoon and welcome to Fast Horses Today. We are going to be covering races for Friday, May 23rd over at Santa Anita. Now, Santa Anita has a 9-race card. I don't know, I kind of feel like it's a little bit of an uninspiring card as far as playing multi-race wagers. So I picked out a couple races where I do like a couple horses, and I'm going to make some win bets. So make those win bets, and those races, they do also fall within some of the multi-race wagers, being the late pick 5, the turf pick 3, or the last race being the late pick 3. So maybe you could use the picks, in your multi-race wagers if you choose to do so. Okay, so let's get started here. My first bet is going to happen in the 5th race over at Santa Anita, which has an approximate post time of 3 o'clock Pacific, so 5 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone. This is a 6-furlong grass race, and that's on the flat grass there. This is a first-level allowance race for 3-year-old fillies, or you can also put your horse in for a $100,000 claim. Now, I know a couple of these horses are in for the $100,000 claim. We'll see if they get a red tag put on them. But I do like a horse here. I'm going to make a win bet on that being the 2-horse, Proud Starlet. Now, Proud Starlet comes out of the Tim Yakteen barn, ridden by Kazushi Kimura. She's coming off a long layoff here. And, I've said many times, I don't mind horses coming off a long layoff, going into turf sprints. Good trainers know how to get it done. And, so I never have an issue with that. So Proud Starlet has had 3 starts in her career. What I really liked in watching her film is her first start, which happened last July at Del Mar as a 2-year-old. She blew out a field of 2-year-olds at 5 furlongs on the dirt. And, those Del Mar 2-year-old races are always, chock full of really talented runners, whether it's the filly division or the boys division. Those are your big-time horses that are coming out as 2-year-olds. So she took care of a field pretty nicely. And, that field included a stakes winner in Thought Process, a turf stakes winner in Thought Process, and there were a couple of Baffert horses in that race as well. So I really liked that first time out. She showed a lot of speed and just kept going. It was very nice. They thought so much of her. They ended up putting her in the Grade 1 Del Mar debutante, which, waters were a little deep for her there. But, I didn't mind her race. She came out of the 1 hole, showed speed, ran, for a nice about 4.5, 5 furlongs, and then just gave it up there. But, she ended up getting beat by a horse like Tianma. And Tianma is a very nice horse. She's a stakes winner, so no shame in that. But, so that's fine. I don't mind that race, that Del Mar debutante Grade 1 race. Follow that up with the Anocchio start there at Santa Anita in the fall. And, she ended up in a small field, 4 horses. She ended up coming up 3rd out of 4th. Maybe something happened there because we hadn't seen her since, or, maybe subsequently in training. I don't know, but, hadn't seen her since. But she comes off this long layoff. She's got some nice works. I really don't see any problem with her taken to the grass course. She's by Mendelssohn out of a Proud Citizen mare. Turf shouldn't be any problem there. And let's face it, I'm playing her because I feel like, she has a lot of speed and can get out and just probably wire this field out of that gate. So 5-1, Proud Starlet, the 2-horse. I'm going to make a win bet on the 2, Proud Starlet, in the 5th race. All right, now I'm going to skip over the next few races. I'm going to go over to the last race of the day. Last race being the 9th race. 9th race, approximate post time about 5 o'clock Pacific, so 7 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone. This is another 6-furlong grass race. These are maiden $50,000 claimers. And these are 3-year-olds and up. And, ends up being a collection of horses of some first starters, some horses that have been running in maiden special weights, dropping in, some horses that have been running at this level. Nice collection of horses. I do have a horse that I like here. I'm going to make a win bet here. That being the 4-horse Burning Rubber for Sean McCarthy and Kyle Frey. This horse had been ridden by Kyle Frey in his 3 prior starts. This horse, first time out was in a dirt race, so the horse didn't do much there. Maybe they were just getting a race over for him. This horse by Flame Away. Flame Aways have been pretty nice horses. He's been throwing some nice horses and certainly some grass runners as well. Burning Rubber has had 2 turf starts. Started out in January, ended up running kind of an even race in a mile grass race at 50,000 here in this claiming level. Just kind of an even race, ended up coming 4th. Good enough effort. They ended up bringing this horse back in April, in a turf sprint. I thought this horse ran a nice race, again, at a $50,000 claim level. So I feel like this horse, it's not a give up because he's been running in this level races here. Just a matter of, does he belong here? And it looks like he does. If he can find this field, of friends here, and I think today might be the day there, for it to happen. He's 5-1 in the program. I'm going to make a win bet on the 4, Burning Rubber. I'm going to go against the favorite, who is probably going to be the 6 horse, who is My Hero from Michael McCarthy. Umberto Rispoli takes the call there. This horse is 5-2 in the program. Now, this horse had been running in maiden special weight races for his most of his career. They did drop this horse into a 50,000 claim last time that he ran. I thought the race was just okay, and I'm not sure if this horse is got a whole lot of talent, but we'll see. They might and he'll get probably some action there in the 9th race, and that's fine because we're hoping for the 5-1 price on Burning Rubber. So let's recap the day and recap the bets. Okay, so for Friday, May 23rd at Santa Anita, got a couple win bets here that I'm going to make, and that's going over to the 5th race. 5th race, we're going to bet the 2, Proud Starlet. Going to go to the 9th race. Bet the 4, Burning Rubber. So those are 2 win bets I'm going to make, and those races do fall within your late pick 5, your turf pick 3, and that 9th race does cap off the pick 5, also caps off the late pick 3 and the turf pick 3. So if you decide to use these bets, these picks, to include them in your multi-race wagers, I wish you the best of luck. I'm just going to make a couple win bets. Let's wish the folks over at Santa Anita a very safe day of racing. Let's wish ourselves some good trips. Maybe that'll result in some wins for us. So whatever you decide to do, I do wish you the best. Thank you so much for watching Fast Horses today. If you haven't done so already, please do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button for me. It doesn't cost you anything. It just puts you into the audience. New content gets served directly to you. You can like, dislike, make comments. Promise to respond to everything. Let's create a discussion. And thanks to all those who have already hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate you. So thank you so much again for watching Fast Horses today for Friday, May 23rd. And let's get this week started off strongly. And we will be back for coverage for Saturday's races at Santa Anita. Thank you.